I'm not done plugging this video. I worked too hard for too long just to see it fly under the radar like this. Go watch it now. Boys, girls, other ones, we need to have a talk. No one cares about how big your monster is. In order for this video to make as much sense as it's ever going to, which isn't really all that much, it's a pretty nonsensical video. If by nonsensical you mean pointless and rambling, which can sometimes coincide with each other but aren't really synonymous. We must go back to the, at this point, kind of distant but not that long ago in the grand scheme of things, but still feels pretty long ago year of 2016, and the release of the 31st official Godzilla film. Yes, these count. Shin Godzilla, or Godzilla Resurgence as it was called for a very short amount of time in the States. In this film, we were introduced to the, at the time, tallest, heaviest, and longest on-screen incarnation of the character ever. While the film was a big hit both financially and with audiences and critics alike, apparently someone got it in their head that this had anything to do with Godzilla just being a big boy. And come the following year, in the release of the first installment of the Godzilla anime trilogy, yeah, that delicious 3-course meal of disappointment, the creative team decided to go above and beyond, quite literally, and give the audience the biggest Godzilla ever. God damn! To say they went overboard with the scale would be an understatement. At 300 meters, give or take, there are sometimes a few extra meters tacked on depending on how specific the source is, this new earthy Godzilla was nearly 3 times the height of the previous record holder, weighed almost 10,000 tons more, and was easily one of the biggest kaiju not only in the Godzilla series, but possibly in all of film. It would truly be a tall order to try and top this beast. I sure hope someone will rise to the challenge. Even though this is quite a sizable task. So a year later we got the Cloverfield Paradox. Almost no one remembers anything about this movie except for the last few seconds, where in the final shot we see Clover, that's this monster from this movie in case you're unaware, popping its head out of the clouds and roaring. But wait a minute, let's think about this. So this capsule right here is presumably going for a splashdown in the ocean, yes? The monster pops its head out of the clouds, somewhat close to where the craft landed. So wait, are we supposed to interpret this thing as being big enough to stand on the bottom of the ocean and still have enough height left over to poke its head and part of its shoulders out through the clouds? Well, that's ridiculous. That'd mean this monster has got to be several miles tall. But I guess that's what they were going for. This should have been the moment when we all realized that how big or how small a monster is shouldn't really matter, and that getting caught up in the numbers will only lead to a big headache. You know the filmmakers didn't plan this shot out trying to properly calculate the monster's size or where it is in relation to this, that, or the third. They just thought this would make for a cool shot and so threw it in there. Then the year after that we got the anime trilogy's version of Ghidorah, a 20-kilometer. Is it kilometer or kilometer? I mean, kilometer would make more sense since we have like millimeters and centimeters and stuff like that. I mean, we don't say centimeter, or whatever. 20-kilometer long behemoth. And at that point, I just kind of tuned out of the discussion. Yeah, I guess on top of all that, it just gets kind of difficult trying to fathom how big these monsters are after a while. It's not like it matters anyway. A lot more emphasis should be placed on how you photograph and depict the monsters on film or in animation, as that use of perspective does a much better job at conveying size than any big sounding number you can just pull out of your ass. Just look at the original Godzilla. It's supposed to be 50 meters tall, about 1/6 the size of Godzilla Earth, and comparing these two side by side, really doesn't look like one is that much bigger than the other. I don't really have any big grand point to make here. I just want to take you back to a time not that long ago when it seemed like all we cared about was the numbers. I can only hope that, since then, we've learned our lesson. Thank you for watching, have a great day, and until next time, see ya.